Hello New Zealand, thank you for joining me. I'm Philip Duncan with your weekend weather update and the outlook for next week, and things are looking surprisingly mild considering we've got a southerly coming on through. So we'll kick off with the animated wind map. Today we've put on the air pressure. You can see the low pressure system in the dark colouring, high pressure in the bright white. So there's a low in the middle of Australia, which is a little different, and we've got this area of low pressure in the New Zealand region, and that is driving in this southerly change. So temperatures are about to drop, but they may not drop as much as you might think. We're right in the depths of winter. This is really it. Beyond this point, spring usually starts to arrive. We're calling it now that spring's, the weather pattern that is starting to turn up. So this is Friday, today's departure from normal. As you can see, the South Island 4 to 8 degrees above normal, as it's been for over a week now, and the North Island a few degrees above normal. As we go into Saturday, this is with the southerly change. The whole west coast, still warmer than average. Parts of Waikato and Bay of Plenty still leaning warmer than average. Most other places reset to normal for this time of the year, and the only places that drop below, a couple of spots in Canterbury and maybe up in this region. This colouring here, it's hard to sort of differentiate in the middle, but that is leaning about a degree below average. So basically, most places are normal on Saturday, if not still leaning a little warmer than average. That's despite a midwinter southerly. So why is it not going to be as cold? Because simply this huge high out here south of Australia is the real guiding force for our southerly. And when you track the origins, so you go backwards, here's the southerly flow at lunchtime on Saturday. You track these isobars, they go down south of Australia, and then they actually come from this area. So they're not super chilled. It's not like it's coming straight from Antarctica and straight on up. So this high is the reason why we're not seeing these temperatures dropping as much as we originally thought they would do. It's still going to be pretty windy though. There'll be gales out around some of these coastal areas in the east. On Saturday, there'll be some blustery winds in the north as well. So and it will feel colder, as I say, in most regions, but not the west coast. So temperatures on Saturday night, that is when you'll notice the temperature drop. So many areas in the dark blue, that is, 3 to 8 degrees colder than usual for this time of the year. So you'll feel that change coming in on Saturday night. As we go into Sunday, really it's the southwest flow coming out of that high, coming in and across the country. So it's not a super chilled southerly, it's a sou'wester. The west coast temperatures will probably go back to normal there. Other areas, you're actually likely to start to lift back up again after the cool change on Saturday. So we'll see a few showers in the west, but mostly dry in the east, and conditions ease out here in these eastern areas. Into next week, and we kick off with a low which is sort of subtropical. It's kind of on the fine line of it, but these northern winds are feeding in from the subtropics, and this is the one that's just coming out of Aussie. The high is sort of moving in at the same time. So it's a balancing act, the low's on top of the high. So Monday itself, not too bad, but the southerly change we talked about is still there in the very south, but it doesn't look too bad. But it will be another bit of a colder surge for you again on Monday. But by Tuesday, we thought that we'd be seeing a southerly coming in more, but this high has ballooned out enough to stop that from happening, for now anyway. The data at ruralweather.co.nz, which is the most accurate data on Earth, is suggesting that that southerly won't be too bad. So just keep an eye on that over the weekend. It still might change. We are at that time of the year where things can move around. But it looks as though next week, that subtropical low will be dominating the north, pulling down mild air for you, along with a little bit of rain. It may not necessarily be a huge amount. And then our next map shows, once again, a bit of a stormy system off the east coast here, potentially driving in more gales, more showers, and a bit of a southerly. But this high seems to have put the lid on that southerly change coming out of the Southern Ocean. It's still worth monitoring if you live in the southern half of the South Island. There is a bit of a storm down here, and it really only takes that high shifting and changing shape a wee bit, and that southerly will come back. So it's not like the forecasts were all completely wrong and miles off. They were seeing a southerly right here, which is stopping pretty much at Southland because of that high. So a fine line, but it certainly doesn't look as though we're going to be hit by anything too major, at least not this weekend. So for the latest information, please do go to weatherwatch.co.nz. Our news will be covering any potential changes over the weekend. Otherwise, have a great, safe weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.